Hey everybody, got to do some PDR on a really cool Ferrari. This was a barn find. A doctor had this in a barn and it was getting leaked on for like many years. And a friend of mine, Tim, he bought it and he polished it up and it shined up really good. And this is just a super duper cool car. I can't remember the year of this Ferrari, but it's like the Magnum PI Ferrari, if you remember that show, if you're old enough for that. The doors are super cool with the hidden handle right here. Just a really sharp car. I think this Ferrari had something like 60,000 original miles on it. Really low miles. And just wanted to kind of take you a tour around this. Can you imagine going into a barn and finding this sucker and being able to buy it? Like a very rare thing to find and to be able to purchase. So just taking a little tour of the inside. I kind of sat in it and fantasized for a minute, but the real reason I'm here is to do some paintless dent removal, or PDR as we call it, on the fender and the hood. You can see Tim's got a bunch of cool cars, man. Him and his brother Nick, they fix these up and they take them down to the auto auctions. So they make 2 trips a year, and this is Ferrari's head of the auction, I believe. So it's got a pretty nasty dent here on the fender. I've never worked on a Ferrari like this before, but it is a steel constructed car for the most part. At least the fender is. So going to get to it right now. Got a heat gun. I like to use heat. It's kind of cold in the shop, and the heat just makes the metal a little more pliable, and you have less chance of cracking the paint. You can see that paint finish there is not flawless, so I was really scared to break it. I use this hook tool from Blem Tools to kind of go underneath there and massage that back into shape, and it turned out pretty nice. So I'm going to leave that alone. Looks pretty good. He's got another couple of dents on that pop-up headlight, and I did not want to do any R&I, so I had them take the headlight out. And you can see this one's kind of nasty. It's got a big scratch and some touch-up paint on it, but Tim just asked me if I could kind of get the dent out as flat as possible, and then he was just going to kind of sand the paint down and kind of retouch that up. Maybe even shoot a little blend on there. I'm not sure, but I think he's going to keep the factory paint. Probably just touch it up. So it's coming out nice. Whenever you do a PDR on a spot that's been touched up like that, it's really hard to get it perfect. So got it as flat as I could. Now onto the hood. The hood's got a couple of dents here, and it was kind of challenging because it's got a suicide hood, meaning that it doesn't open like a normal hood. It opens from the back up, and I'm sure there's an easy way to take the hood off, but I am not a Ferrari mechanic, so I just decided to leave it on there. So you can see I used a paddle tool, and I used that window guard to keep from scratching the inside of the hood, and was able to get a paddle tool down in there and get those dents out. It made a couple of little high spots for me pushing through the glue, but I was able to knock that down. So on to the next car. This is a Jaguar of some sort. I can't remember the year, the year and model, but it is a very rare car. And this one's got a couple dents on it too. I believe this is going to the auto auction as well. And you can see they got it tore down. They restore all these cars, make them beautiful on the inside and out. And this one is already pretty beautiful. Just needs a little bit of work on some dents here. You can see this got a long front end on it, huge fender and hood, and it's pretty unique, really unique. So this one is like, it's got a couple dents in it, but the whole front clip inverts up, which is really unique. I've never worked on a car like this before, and I was a little intimidated too, but hey, got to go for it and see what happens. So I was able to fix these dents. And this car, I didn't want to do any R&I. I think I had them take a few things apart, but for the most part, didn't need to do too much because these dents were pretty open. This fender was really stout metal, and got it almost flawless. There was a little dent on the edge there that I just had to blend in. So back to the quarter panels here. These had a couple of dents in it too, and this steel was pretty tight too. But got them fixed up, got them flat, and this thing's ready for auction.